Hi there, my name is Ruben Sahlstrom. Right here are a couple of cleft grafts that I did last year, and as you can see, they've done really well. They healed onto the tree right where they were supposed to, and they've sprung forth with growth. This growth is from last year, and I'm hoping that this year they'll kind of spread out some more. Up here I have another graft. This one I actually almost ripped off, so I've tied some string on it and just left it there. But it healed up really well, and over there's a couple more, but I'm going to show you today kind of just how to make a cleft graft, how to do that. Right here I have what's called Scion Wood, and this is basically just dormant wood. So you harvest this in the winter from the tree that you'd like to graft, and you store it in like your refrigerator until the rest of the tree is growing. So see up here on these leaves? This is a good indication that it's time to start grafting, like kind of right before or right as the tree starts putting out buds. So what I'm going to do for a cleft graft, my end goal is to put it into the wood like this. See right here, if you can you come focus on this? See right here, I have cut into the tree. This branch got cut off, and then I cut the bark and you stick in the sliver of wood and it heals to the tree. If you look up here on this one, right up here, you can actually see the original piece of wood where it ends right at my fingernail, and then you can see right here, this is actually new growth that's healed onto the graft. So that's what our goal is here. And I'm going to just cut this. This is where the original cut was when I took it off the tree, and that is all dried out now because it's been in cold storage. So you just take your knife, and I would suggest using like a brand new razor blade for this. That's what I put in here. This is a really good knife. You can get these on Amazon. But you just slice like that, and you don't want to carve on it a whole bunch. You just want it to be clean and straight, because you want as much of this to contact the inside of that tree as possible, and that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to cut another one right here so that we're ready to go. Stick it in the other side. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. So again, you don't want to do a lot of carving on it because you want it to be really straight. So I just trim off the bottom like that. That looks pretty good. There we go. That's a good example. It's smooth. There's no other cuts. That one should have some potential to heal up. So then you grab a more firm knife like this one and electrical tape. And we'll come over here and I'll show you what we're doing. Here, you want to hold these? Thanks. Okay, so right up here is the branch that I've chosen to do the cleft grafts on. And I just cut it off. Just cut off the entire branch. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and you're going to push it into the bark. Okay, because we're just getting into that first layer, and you're just going to kind of crack it. Here, come look from this angle and you can kind of see how it's opened up. Right there. That's all we want, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on the other side again so you can see. I think that this branch will be able to sustain 2 grafts, so you just poke it in. Wedge it out a little bit like that. Got my knife. Then take your graft, and here, hold this one. And you just take the flat side, obviously, and poke it right into there. Okay, now that tree is holding it. You can see the other ones look a lot like this, except you can tell that they've healed. So that looks good, and the other graft, I'll put on the other side right here. Same thing, you just take it so the flat side is there. It's going to be pushed right up against where all the sap is coming from. And you just push that into the tree. Get it nice and snug in there. So now, I just use electrical tape. Obviously, there's people that are like, oh, you have to use this special tape or whatever, but electrical tape works really good. And I usually put some beeswax over it afterwards to kind of seal it shut. And that worked great for the other grafts that I've done, so I'm sticking with electrical tape. So then what you do is you just wrap it really tight, because you want to prevent this from drying out, and obviously hold it against the tree as tightly as possible. The biggest enemy to grafts, I would say, is them drying out, or those guys over there. Siblings, that might accidentally pull them out. Hopefully that doesn't happen. It'd be bad for the sibling. But anyway, just so you get it tight, so it doesn't dry out, it keeps them on the tree. And I also tape off the face of this. And that's looking pretty good to me. I usually don't spare the tape though. I go pretty liberal on it. And that right there looks pretty good. You can kind of massage the tape, massage the branch a little bit to make sure it's tightly in there so that it doesn't dry out. Get all those air pockets kind of pushed out. And hopefully next year at about this time, these will all be going as good as those ones. Later on, after it starts to heal onto it, these buds on the branch should start to swell a little bit, and you should start seeing some leaves. See this bud here? They're really small buds because I got these right when it was winter. This one looked pretty good. So that's the goal. Hopefully this video has helped you some, and hopefully these grafts make it. Thanks.